Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris are set to have another intense fight in Baku, and the Aussie just dropped a bombshell as to who has the advantage on the track where he notched his second career win last year. It seems like it's going to be like this for the remainder of the season, and such spicy statements should be expected from both camps. But what does Piastri exactly feel ahead of this GP? And more importantly, can he make a huge step towards the championship and put Norris in a very uncomfortable position in McLaren? There is no doubt that the hottest topic for the remainder of the season is going to be the intra-team battle in McLaren, unless Piastri or Norris can make some huge steps in order to seal it as early as possible. However, judging by the races in 2025, we should be looking at very close battles on every track that we go to. And the next one is in Baku. This is the race in which McLaren's DRS trick got exposed last year, and the race where Piastri won the battle and cruised to a race win. That is precisely what he feels is going to put him in an advantageous position compared to Norris for this year's edition. Needless to say, Baku is one of Piastri's favourite races, and he'll push for the absolute maximum, nothing less than a race win and a guaranteed minimum 8-point advantage, in addition to the 31 he already has over Norris. Elaborating further on the upcoming Baku GP in the intra-team battle with his teammate, Piastri said, "I've got extremely fond memories of Baku last year. I regard that as one of my favourite races ever, and it's always an advantage coming back to a track where you've had a big result. My only focus is achieving more of the same this weekend. I am leading the Drivers' Championship, and I am very happy with where my driving island." Well, there is one thing that Piastri certainly doesn't miss, and that's confidence. Norris might be a bit in trouble here, because heading into the last 8 races of the season, we cannot help but look at some of the tracks in which other drivers are going to be involved in race wins: Baku, Las Vegas, and Singapore being the top 3. The last thing he needs right now is more competition than his teammate, who again is booming with self-confidence. And now that McLaren is championship worthy, Norris not winning the first title in the drivers' category after a long wait since 2008 will be a big burden to carry into the next season, especially when you think about the fact that Piastri is here to stay. He has negotiated his terms with McLaren, thanks to the amazing drives he's shown and the brute force that his agent Mark Webber has shown in these processes. So there is only one way of putting yourself on the map, and that's beating Oscar in a fair and square duel. That process got further hardened by the DNF in Zandvoort. Now everything seems to be a bit questionable from Norris's point of view. That's why he might have done more work than usual ahead of the closure of 2025. It's a season that can definitely reshape the lineup in McLaren as we know it. And as far as Norris is concerned, he is not going to be satisfied with anything less than a championship. His time as runner-up finished in 2024, and now is the time where he needs to shine the most. The only barrier is his teammate, who seems to be a tough nut to crack, and one that will definitely make Norris question whether he can win a title while having him in the same car on the other side of the garage. Elaborating on the things he had to do in order to prepare himself for the Baku GP, Norris said, "Street circuits bring a different challenge, and I can't wait to get out there and put myself to the test. I've been back at McLaren's Technology Centre, working hard to be in the best position to go for another win. But this race will definitely be watched more closely than ever when it comes to the dynamics of McLaren, because this is a team that has proven to have a questionable working manner for their drivers. The decision in Monza to swap the positions between Norris and Piastri after the slow stop of the Brit still has fans and phone pundits mad, even though Zak Brown stated loud and clear that the team did nothing but follow the principles. If that's the case, we wonder what's going to happen if the positions were reversed, or for example, heading into the last race of the season with the championship on the line, the team is put in a situation similar to the one in Monza. If you were to directly ask Brown, he'd stand by his words. We are going to do exactly the same because it was the right thing to do at that point of the race. But I don't think they realize how fast these things can backfire on them. And while this fight may lack the intensity of the 2016 Mercedes duel between Rosberg and Hamilton, it's still the most interesting one we have in the paddock. The only thing is that fans and experts feel like McLaren has too big of a say in this fight. That process got further hardened by the DNF in Zandvoort. Now everything seems to be a bit questionable from Norris's point of view. That's why he might have done more work than usual ahead of the closure of 2025. It's a season that can definitely reshape the lineup in McLaren as we know it. and as far as Norris is concerned, he is not going to be satisfied with anything less than a championship. His time as runner-up finished in 2024, and now is the time where he needs to shine the most. The only barrier is his teammate, who seems to be a tough nut to crack.